Hi everyone, I'm John on page today, and before I'm beginning I want to show you I finished the page that I started on the live. So this is it. I managed to do the kingfisher bird separately and then glue it to my page, so that's finished. Another page that I told you I'm going to do was here, where I took one of the samples as almost the focal point and then created something for the background. I don't know, it's kind of an abstract. I love it. It just turned beautiful. That's what I think. And it was very relaxing. So that's another way to go about it with the neurographic art. So I really liked it. And now to the page we are going to do today. I've already put some, I wanted to make my page on craft paper. So once again, I took one of my paper bags from the supermarket and just adhered a piece to my page. I wanted to show you something I've bought. This little iron. It was supposed to be used for clothes, for small areas like the sleeves, but it's not that great. I don't even remember where I bought it, if it's AliExpress, Amazon or Temu. I really don't remember. But what turned out is that this is great when I want to iron some papers. I don't do it often, but this is great for papers. So just so you all know. Okay, so starting my page, I've got some white acrylic paint. I've got some other colors that I want to use today with just plain acrylic paints. I'm thinking of starting with a lot of white and then building up on it. So I'm going to put some white here, and I'm going to take a palette knife just to make my life easier. You don't have to, you can put it on your page however you want. And I'm just randomly scraping it on my page. And what I'm aiming for is more like in between shades. By scraping the paint, I've got areas that are more white, areas that are less white, and some areas still with the craft paper. So this is it. That's the only thing that I'm trying to do here. And I do try to have some kind of direction with the smearing. As you can see, I'm going diagonally, but it really doesn't matter. I can go outside of this and add some more, just cleaning my palette knife like so, and I've got a start to my page. So that's the white, and I want to dry it first before I'm continuing. I want to stamp, and I don't want my stamps to pick up paint, so I'm going to dry it. I'm going to turn on my hairdresser. Okay, I don't have enough patience to wait for all the areas to dry. Of course, where it's more white, then it's still wet. And I've picked some text, scribbly text stamp, and one that looks like a ledger, and I'm just going to put them randomly on my page just to get some details in the back. Most of it is going to get covered with paint. I don't care. It's just so I will have some interesting visual texture in the back. For that matter, I could have picked anything else, if it's butterflies, if it's flowers. So you can do whatever you like in terms of adding some interest to the background. Okay, so this is one. Let's take the other one. Some of it, as I said, is gonna get covered, so I'm not really concerned about how it looks. Here I picked some white paint, so right away I'm going to take a baby wipe before it dries. Of course, the better way to make sure it's cleaned is with water and a paintbrush to go into all the details. Right now I'm just using this so it won't dry on my stamp. Yeah, okay, and here I've managed to put some paint on my ink pad, just because I don't have any patience at all. Okay, so yeah, yeah, okay, so this is this, and moving this aside, I'm going to put some of the acrylic colors that I've picked on here on my palette, and I'm just going to play with the colors until I get something that I like in the background. This is it. I'm even considering just smearing it with my finger. The purple, I think I'm just going to keep it to the end. I'm not sure yet. As I said, I'm just playing. So I'm taking a little bit of paint and just smearing it. I'm using my finger just because I feel that I can blend it more to the page this way. Another way to go about it when you don't like to use your fingers is just taking a makeup sponge and smearing it like this, and you will have a more blended look. So here we go. We've got a problem now on our roof with some pigeons. I don't know if you can hear them. It's quite disturbing. Don't know what to do about it. Once upon a time you could call like an exterminator, and now it's banned. I really don't know what to do about it. It's kind of making me crazy, the noise that they are making on the roof. I really hope that you don't hear them. So this is done quite randomly, where I want to put some paint. I have picked two colors right now with my finger. I haven't meant to, but whatever. This is also good. Whatever happens, happens. I was aiming to take only this citrus green, but I've picked up also from the dark blue, and I'm just going with this. Again, quite random, and just smearing paint wherever I feel like it. Now I'm taking then another shade of green, and again picked up a little bit of the turquoise. Okay, by me, it just makes it more blended, and I get more in between. Now I'm picking up a little bit of white, just so I will have again in between shades. And I think I need a little bit more of the dark blue. I really like that I have areas that are darker, areas that are lighter, and that it all mixes together to something interesting in the back. I know it looks like a mess, but most of I think most of my pages look like a mess at the beginning, and sometimes till the end, but I think that's part of it. And I'm even thinking that some of the stamping is showing through, but I'm thinking that just maybe I will stamp again later on when everything is dry. Not sure yet. Just putting down a little bit more of the white in several places, again just for a more softer and blended look. There are no rules to it. It's just you keep going until you like what you see. That's it. Yeah. Okay. A mess that I like. What can I say? A little bit more white in several areas just to bring it in again. Really easy. Anyone can do it. Okay. So I'm going to dry this with the hair dryer, and then I'll come back. I personally know that I don't like the noise of the heat tool in the background of videos, so I'll try to spare it for you. I'll be back. Okay, so this is dry. Now as I said, I want to get the stamps again just to add more detailing on top. Again, just a hint of it. I don't care how it looks. It doesn't need to be a complete stamp, just adding some details. And again, I've got some that are in the back and some that are in the front, and it's just a part of the layering. Okay, so I've got this, I don't know what to call it, grungy background, and I was going to do some stenciling. I wanted this stencil with the purple color that I've picked, but then I decided to go a different way. So what I'm going to do, and I hope you bear with me, I'm going to put this is on watercolor paper. First of all, I'm going to trace with a pencil all this detailing. Well, I'm thinking that maybe I should have flipped it over. Never mind, I'll do it fast, and just so you will see what I'm talking about. I want to create a focal point from this with watercolors, but I'm not sure that I want how I want it to be. So I'm gonna try, because I've got a grungy background. Sometimes I like to do things that are in contrast, and watercolors will be very subtle, and also this image is very, I don't know what to call it, elegant. So it goes in contrast to the background. And maybe just so I will have for later on, I'm doing another one here. So it's either I will do another one, just flipped the stencil, so we'll have another one going the other way. And the tracing right now, it's not really important. What I want to do with this is like connect the dots. If I'm making myself, I don't want it in like when it's, I want to create something that is more like a drawing, and I like this kind of scribbly lines, so I'm on purpose going over and over to create this. I will later on, I will just erase the pencil lines. So two things that I'm thinking of. As I said, I'm creating this let's say a freehand drawing, and either I'm fussy cutting it and using it on my page as is, or I'm thinking fussy cutting it and using it as a mask. We'll see. I don't know where it's going to go. It's not completely planned. And I really like that it's like I'm turning the stencil to something more me, more that corresponds more with things that I like to do. Of course, I could have done any kind of a branch freehand, like I like to do a lot of times. Like, you probably know my style by now, like something like that, but this time I've picked the stencil. It's also something that helps if you don't do a lot of freehand drawing. It helps to trace, like with a stencil. It helps you like homework exercise. I don't know what to call it. So I just keep on going, and then I'm going to color this probably with watercolors, so it would be very subtle. Another thing that you can do, if you are doing it on watercolor paper, then you can use a simple felt pens and then activate them with water. It takes a few minutes to get the effect, but it works. On watercolor paper, you can use regular felt, I don't know what to call them, markers or pens, felt pens, and they create an effect of watercolors if you are not up to using watercolors. If I don't have a noise from the construction site that we have opposite us, it seems like they will never finish that building, this ugly building that they are doing. Then I have some noise from the pigeons. It's very, very frustrating. I love this kind of scribbly lines. You can do do some precise drawing. Okay, so I've got my focal point. I can take an eraser and just erase the pencil lines. I'm going to do another one here that's going the other way. That I will do off camera because it's not interesting to do the same thing over and over again. Okay, so let's do some watercolors. And the thing is that even if I don't use this focal point for now for this page, I will use it later on. Even if I'm going to use it as a mask, you will see what I'm talking about. And before my paints here are going to dry, I'm taking the notebook for leftover paint and I'm just going to smoosh it. And this is one of the ways that I love creating painty papers. And as I've told you in the past, some of my best painty papers are from the notebook of leftover paint. Here we go. And of course I've managed to waste paint on my fingers. It's just a talent of mine. Okay, so watercolor, I'm going to go about it very quickly. I'm not concerned about accuracy, as you probably know. Now I've used this pen with this fine tip is not permanent, so I will have a reaction between this and the water most of the time. It depends on the paper, depends on the ink that is in the pen, how much reaction will be between the two. Again, don't care. I'm just going for it. I've got a brush and let's see what kind of purple do I want. And I don't know. Maybe it's not strong enough, but first I think I'll just, it makes life easier when you are putting some water. I'm also putting in some of the blue just so I will have something to play with. I'm making a mess today. And let's take some blue. No, this one. As I said, I really don't care. I'm on purpose trying not to be precise. Just putting it there. Don't care. I've got lots of water here, but it's going to just help me in the blending. Not sure about this shade of purple, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. Not really. I'm not even going on and covering the whole leaf or any kind of shape. I'm just making stains like puddles of color. I'm I have too much water here, so I'm loading my brush from that and just spreading it. So even if you are, I don't know what to call it, afraid of using watercolors, this is for you, because it really doesn't matter. I'm not trying to blend, I'm not trying to do anything. Just putting it there. Wherever it goes, it goes. And I'm adding the blue oil mostly because I've got a blue, this dark blue in the background, so it will be something that corresponds with this focal point. And also I like that I have several colors, and I always like to have something in between, letting the paint, whatever it is, it doesn't matter if it's acrylic paint or watercolor paint, I will use colors to mix in between. And another thing is that when watercolors dry, they are a little bit less, I don't know, vibrant, or they fade a little bit, so I'm not concerned about putting too much here. I can go outside the lines, it doesn't matter. From time to time I'm cleaning my brush in the water or loading it with water just to help me spread. Okay. And sometimes if I want to spread it, I just load the brush with water and just go in where I've already put some paint and just spreading it. But with this you really don't need to know how to use watercolors. It's quite free, as you can see. Anyone can do it, so don't be afraid to use watercolors. And if you don't have watercolors and you want to do this kind of effect, then again, either just use felt pens on watercolor paper, or just take acrylic paint and dilute it with water and play with it. Again, there are all kinds of other stuff that reacts to with water, so there are all kinds of, like Distress inks by Tim Holtz react with water, so you can play with them if it's something that you have and you want to use. Almost done. Just going to take some green and for the branch itself, and let's see, what green do I want? I think I'll take this one. Once again, I'm not coloring everything, I'm just putting it there. Don't care if I go outside the lines. Now I will have to fussy cut it. Oh, the joy of fussy cutting. And again, this is something that even fussy cutting, I'm not fussy about it anymore. I found that I like free, it's looking something that looks free and not precise. That's just how I like to do things nowadays. So, but you can do what feels good to you. So I'm just taking it out so I will have an easy time fussy cutting it. And for those who don't know, I'm always using for this stuff, I'm using nail scissors because they are more dainty and they have a curve, so I can just use the curve to go about curvy things. Just makes life easier than using straight scissors to cut things that are curvy. Now again, I'm not going to be too fussy about it. I'm leaving some white, you can do more of a fussy cutting if that's what you like, and more accurate and more precise. So I'm going to continue just cutting this out and then I'll be back. Okay, finished fussy cutting. I'm just loving the outcome. This is just beautiful. It seems like I need to do more focal points like this. I'm really in love with it. The only thing I'm going to do is just adhere it to my page right now. I'm using this B7000 glue just because it has a fine nozzle and it will make my life easier. Otherwise, this kind of thing doesn't need this kind of strong glue. But I'm always for something that would make my life easier. So that's why I'm using it. Just going into all the details. I was thinking before it was made that maybe if it doesn't work on the page, I would flip it over like it's laying right now and take a makeup sponge with acrylic paint like the blue and make it into a mask and then just around it. So, but because I really like how it turned out, I'm not going to do it. And I'm really happy that I went with this and not with just stenciling. It's more I don't know what to call it, personal, because it's like my handwriting or my hand creating this, although it's with a stencil. So I really like this, and I already took out a stamp that I want, with words that I want to use here, I'm going to stamp it on the same kind of page, this watercolor paper, just so it will again correspond with what I have. And I'm taking this ink pad, this distress ink pad, just because I think that the color will again correspond with the color that I have here. Otherwise it really doesn't matter. I don't know how it will take on watercolor paper, so let's hope for the best. If not, I will just trace it with some kind of marker. I'm leaving it be like this, so the paper will absorb the ink as much as it can. Again, it's watercolor paper, so as you can see, it's not even, but I think it will work here. And let's see, I'm going to go and do again, just to keep on with the same style that I already have on the page. Yeah. So now I'm just going to take this out. Okay. And this is it. That's my page. I'm really happy with what came out of it from the mess. It's really something that I like to do. Here we go. Yeah. So I've got, I missed a leaf here, so it's sticking out. Yeah, this is it, I think. I'm considering going around the page with this squibbly line, but I'm not sure. I think I'll just leave it as is because I really like what's going on here on top here, so don't mess it. Okay, so this is it. I hope you like it. I hope you'll do something similar and try your hand at just letting loose and try making something like that just from a stencil. So thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.